she's a jumpy type of person. You know, she...
We're finding out what co-stars Octavia Spencer and Kate Hudson really think of each other. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Andrea Belke, bringing you everything you need to know about pop culture right now. We've got 10 minutes, so let's dive right in with the first 5. Starting with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, who are speaking out on current events.
Meghan and Harry issued a statement saying they were left speechless by the situation in Afghanistan and heartbroken by the growing humanitarian disaster over in Haiti. The couple also said they were left scared by all that this is going on, especially during the global health crisis.
They went on to encourage others to support organizations in need and urged world leaders to rapidly advance humanitarian dialogues.
Harry and Meghan said that the decisions that the international community makes in the coming days to alleviate the suffering will be what helps prove our humanity.
This week, a tropical storm hit an already earthquake-stricken Haiti, and the Taliban retook control of Afghanistan after 20 years, prompting chaos as thousands try to flee the country.
Harry served in the British Army for 10 years, including 2 tours of Afghanistan. It was that service that inspired him to set up his Invictus Games in 2014.
All right, next up is the most viewed story on People.com this week. Madonna celebrated her 63rd birthday over the weekend, and photographer Ricardo Gomez was there to document all the fun.
Madonna looked like she was having a blast in the party photos she shared to Instagram. Her boyfriend Al-Malik Williams was there, along with all of her 6 kids and some of her close friends.
And the birthday girl looked beautiful for the big celebration.
She was wearing 2 gorgeous patterned dresses in the photos and wore her iconic blonde hair down and perfectly wavy, as always. She looked stunning.
But most of all, we loved seeing the singer with her nearest and dearest.
One of the cutest photos featured Madonna sharing an ice cream cone with her boyfriend. And in another one, she's surrounded by all of her kids. And isn't that like the best birthday gift? To have the whole family together?
But the music legend also had one more birthday wish for a very good cause.
She says she wants her friends and fans to adopt a bed at Malawi's Mercy James Center Hospital to ensure that sick or injured children can receive the care that they need.
Moving on now to the Instagrams you've been loving this week. Simone Biles is spending some quality time with her boyfriend, Jonathan Owens, since her return from the Tokyo Olympics, including a romantic impromptu sunset photo shoot. Ah, we love love. And Simone's fellow gymnast, gold medalist Suni Lee, is off to college. She posted this pic of her posing on campus and captioned it War Eagle, a reference to Auburn University's battle cry. And speaking of the Olympics, Kaylee Kuoko's offer to buy a horse that was punched in the face by its coach in Tokyo went viral this week. Kaylee's an avid equestrian, and she let her feelings be known in a series of passionate Instagram stories, calling the incident disgusting, classless, and an abusive representation of the sport. She said she wasn't kidding about her offer, adding, quote, "Name your price." Meanwhile, Bindi Irwin's 4-month-old daughter, Grace Warrior, enjoyed a family day out in nature with her mom, her dad Chandler, her uncle Robert, and her grandma Terry. The cutie even has her very own lawn chair to lounge in style. In this week's People, we're catching up with pop icon Debbie Gibson.
I never got into showbiz to be famous, and I never got into showbiz to make money. I never viewed it as anything other than I love to entertain.
And entertain she did. From her days as an 80s teen queen to dropping her first album in 20 years this week.
It really represents the connection between being nostalgic but living in the present moment. That's really where I am, and that's what I'm all about. I will always own and pay homage to my past, especially musically. My fashion choices, maybe not always so much, but musically, I stand by every note I've ever written and ever sung, and it's important to me, it's important to people.
Now onto another story getting a lot of love this week on People.com. Travis Barker took to the skies for the first time since he was involved in a fatal plane crash in 2008. He announced on Instagram that he had overcome his fear of flying and thanked his girlfriend Kourtney Kardashian for helping make it possible. TMZ reported that Travis and Kourtney flew to Cabo on her sister Kylie Jenner's private jet, along with Kris Jenner and her boyfriend Corey Gamble. A source recently told People that the deadly crash was extremely traumatizing for Travis and that he needed a lot of help to be able to fly again. He even said at one point he couldn't walk down the street because if he saw a plane, he was determined it was going to crash. The accident left Travis with third-degree burns on more than half of his body, while his security guard, his assistant, and both the pilot and co-pilot died in the crash. Travis's longtime collaborator, DJ AM, had also survived the accident, but died 1 year later from a prescription drug overdose. Just 2 months ago, Travis hinted that he might fly again, and the source tells people it's a huge deal that he's done so. All right, now let's move on to some screen time. I am so excited to be joined now by Octavia Spencer and Kate Hudson. They are starring in season 2 of Truth Be Told.
We will present the information ignored by the media and the police.
Thank you both for joining me. For these final 5 minutes of the show, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. For question number 1, you have to give me 1 answer. For question number 2, you have to give me 2 answers, and so on. Let's get started. What is one thing that made you want to be a part of this show? Let's start with you, Octavia.
I'm actually a true crime enthusiast. To do the show is very close to home and I find very exciting.
What about you, Kate?
Easy. Octavia Spencer.
Seeking answers is never a straight line.
Your characters in this show are childhood friends.
You trust her? I know my friend.
Now, you've kind of talked about your love for each other. I want to hear 2 things you admire about the other person that you've never told them before.
I will say I admired Octavia's courage to be working during the pandemic. She's a jumpy type of person, you know, she and for her to come and actually like be working and being out there and being amongst this was, you know, took a lot, and I just admired that she kind of went against sort of her fear. And I also admire and love how she sort of creates the community around her with her team and her family and her friends, and how caring she is with everybody on that's working around her, and she just takes care of everybody.
I admire the fact that she's just really and truly just extremely generous of her time and just really allows everyone access and to get to know her. That's hard to do, to be that open and, you know, walk into an already oiled machine where everybody has established relationships. The other is I love how great of a mom you are. I told you, we all know and love your mom, and to see those characteristics that you display, that you obviously that are ingrained in who you are as a person, it was a beautiful thing to witness.
Octavia, how jealous were you that Kate didn't bring you along on this Greece vacation with her family? Because that looks incredible.
I love that everybody thinks it's a vacation. I'm like, I am working. I mean, you stay there long enough and the gods, they start speaking to you, you know. You're like, oh, Athena, I feel you. Poseidon, hello.
After a long day of filming, what are 3 things we might not expect that never fail to put a smile on your face?
Oh, that's easy. A hot bath. Kate sent me this amazing kit to make sangria, and because it's, you know, it's my thing. And you know, being able to work and be in my home at the end of the day.
What about you, Kate?
I have like this foot rub machine thing that you stick your feet in, and it's very good. I will say Danny also is a great foot rub, and he loves to give foot rubs. I'm very grateful for that. I do love a cocktail, pending on, you know, if I really need to unwind. So martini always does the trick, and a bath. There's nothing like a beautiful bath at the end of the day.
True crime shows and podcasts have become so popular recently. It's a lot of people's guilty pleasures. So what are 4 podcasts, documentaries, shows, or true crime stories that you used for research to get into character? You can each name 2.
Serial, This American Life.
Like, I love Broadchurch. I thought that was amazing. The Staircase, I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yes.
But that one's pretty crazy. It's endless. I mean, there's so many of them, you know, you keep going forever.
5 words to describe this season of Truth Be Told.
electric,
If you don't work with Poppy, she'll work against you.
a thriller,
My God.
challenging,
I won't only find out what you want me to know. Air it all.
heartbreaking,
His widow deserves answers.
and delicious.
How does that make you feel?
Like burning it down.
Octavia and Kate, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, be sure to watch the new season of Truth Be Told when it premieres on Apple TV Plus Friday, August 20th. All right, time's up. See you next Thursday.